It was just extraordinary pressure, like pressure I'd never experienced before.
Tony's so mentally tough. If he thought we were gonna win, then we thought we were gonna win.
I remember the never give up attitude on the 14 team that day.
I just felt like I had the edge. I started playing mind games on media day. It was really odd because I'm late for everything. I'll be late to my own funeral. I was actually there early. Carl was actually late, and Carl's always on time. So it was just kind of weird how it started, but the very first thing that we shot was a piece with Darrell Waltrip, and he had a single chair on one side of the trophy and then two chairs beside that. And Darrell was in the single chair, and then they wanted Carl beside the trophy and me beside Carl. And I sat next to the trophy. They tried to move me. I said, I'm not moving. I said, it's my trophy. And Carl kind of looked at me funny and just kind of laughed it off, and Darrell kind of laughed it off, and I said, no, I'm not moving. So they said, okay, whatever, put Carl beside me, and we did the interview and everything was fine. But Carl was leading the points, and that's why they wanted him next to the trophy. So that's where it started on media day. He tried to laugh it off, but it made him uncomfortable. After this long day of media and we're throwing jabs, I think Carl thought everything was just going to get back to normal. And so he just asked a casual question. He goes, what are you going to do on Monday? Since the season's over. And it was just a casual question, but it was like the last opportunity to sit there and get one more jab, and it was personal. It was just him and I. And I said, I don't know what you're doing on Monday. I said, I'm going to ESPN all day. That's what the champion does. The champion goes and does ESPN interviews all day on Monday. And Carl never said another word to me. We walked to the car and never said another word to each other. I thought I got him. And then he went out the next day and fired back by getting the pole. It literally was chapters of a book that happened in that race. I can't remember what the count was. It was like 110 or 115 cars that we actually passed for position before we had the problem with Kurt Busch's U-joint going through the front of the car.
Certainly an issue that Darian Grubb and company, Tony Stewart obviously included, did not expect to have to be dealing with in the early stages of this championship run.
Going to the back, passing cars for position again, getting into David Rudiman, having to come in and fix it again, going to the back of the pack, coming back up through there. Then we had a bad pit stop that dropped us back to 12th.
It seemed like everything was going against us, but then Tony just was so focused and so determined to get the car to the front. We got the lead basically because it started to rain.
So just past 150 miles, caution for the fourth time, second caution for rain.
I think my favorite story is listening to Tony talk about when he saw Jack Roush on pit road during the rain delay and delivering a message to Carl Edwards that he was coming back through the field.
Frickson to keep delivering this whooping we got in mind for him the rest of the day.
Tony Stewart having a little fun, guys.
And I thought, holy cow, he didn't just say that. Jack just turned around and walked off.
I remember watching Carl get out of the car, and he looks back over his right shoulder and looks down, and he sees me in fifth. And it was like he saw a ghost.
3 wide, right in front of them. How about 4 wide? Stewart to the bottom. Wow.
That was an exciting race, not only from the standpoint of the adversity, but also the last few finishing laps.
This time he's an owner driver, and he's going to become a 3-time NASCAR Sprint Cup champion. Tony Stewart wins it. One for the ages.
He just said, I'm not giving up, I'm not laying down, you're not going to beat me.
There was nobody going to beat Tony Stewart on that day. He's one of those guys, he just called it where he's called his shot like a baseball guy, and he could do it, and he's about the only one that can do that and come through with it.
It could be one of the greatest races of my life. The fact that it was for a championship as well definitely makes it that way. I mean, 5 dramas in one race just to try to win the race, which wins you the championship. You can't have any more pressure on you than that. I don't know that a winner has ever had to pass 118 cars for position. That's not lap cars, that's for position. I don't know if that's happened in NASCAR.
To the 2011 championship, congratulations, and we're going to be honored to celebrate with you out in Vegas here in a couple of weeks.
That championship was won out of pure determination. When Tony first made the decision, he had something to prove.
It put me back to the first time we won with Stewart Haas Racing at Charlotte, the All-Star race, and watching grown men cry in Victory Lane because it's the first time they won a cup race. And I remember the feeling of what that felt like, and it was like that multiplied by 100. When now those same guys that you got their very first win, now you go 2 years later, and now you've helped them win their first championship, and the excitement on their faces, none of it was about me and what I had done. It was about we and what we had all accomplished together, and the satisfaction of being a part of this with a big group of people and seeing them accomplish the goal that we all set out for, to me was much bigger than the personal goal and accomplishment of winning it for myself.